Welcome to episode 11 of YOUx2, where we're on this adventure of discovering the two of us that are living this human experience, this human character that we're playing here, and the actor behind this character, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. Last episode, we kind of went off of the regular scheduled programming because the creator wanted to talk about how to help the heartache that we may be experiencing, especially what's been going on over the last couple of years, but some of what's been triggered probably more recently with what's going on globally here in planet Earth. But it all can be considered part of the same adventure because we are getting to know the two of us that are living this experience, especially when things like what's happened over the last couple of years and globally is hitting us. It's like a singing bowl where our lives get a big gong, on the singing bowl, and it causes us to vibrate that unconditional love that's inside us. And it makes us more aware of that love and of our higher selves than if life was just rolling along peacefully without anything happening at all. Before that last episode, we were talking about how we could develop and maintain that higher connection with the higher realms and our higher self. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how that consistent connection can help us with our self-worth, or how it impacts our self-worth and our courage. But before we jump into that, I kind of wanted to give an example of that episode before that, where we were talking about how we can connect to the higher self of individuals that are still here living on the earth and that character that we're interacting with. And I mentioned starting with like those angelic, loving people in our life where it's really easy to kind of picture this higher being that's behind those characters that are in our life. But I did find that when we try to identify those villainous characters in our life and try to picture that higher actor behind them, that it's more impactful in our life. And of course, in our current global political and worldly climate that's going on, it's probably very easy to find that villainous character in our life, whether it's some sort of dictator or authoritative leader somewhere in our nation or the world, or some sort of political leader that we don't really see eye to eye on. And I can probably just stop there, right? We probably have already identified someone that we're like, that little angst is bubbling up within us. And then what I do is I see that villainous character and I see them shrink from an adult down into a little, like a 2-year-old child. And I do that because, first of all, it ignites the compassion that is within me, because when I picture them as this little child who's out of control, who feels unsafe and is like crying, hurting, and just kind of helpless, that's one of the things in my life that just ignites compassion in my heart, to see a child that way. So when I picture that villainous character as that, compassion's activated. And also, when I picture them as a 2-year-old, I don't feel as defensive towards them in their actions, because what's the worst a 2-year-old can do to me? Kick me in the shins? And then I see the huge higher self of that little human being standing behind him or her, and I see them smiling at me, grinning at me, sending out unconditional love to me and sending out unconditional love to the world. They're glowing with a bright light. And I feel their intentions, not the intentions of their little one, but the intention of their higher one. And that is all about experiencing unconditional love in any way it can to know itself more deeply. One of those ways is by experiencing its opposite through this little human character they're playing here. And I see their life through their eyes. And they show me that this life that we're all living is just a huge mirror reflecting back to each of us our emotions that are happening inside of us. And they show us that, what I think I see in the characters that are going on out there, that they are all designed to be this walking mirror for me, continually reflecting back to me what I want to see about myself until I see it. And then when all that starts to sink in, I stop judging those other characters so harshly, and I start to look into my own self, my own emotions, and I ask myself, how am I trying to be a dictator? How am I trying to control the world and make it do what I think it should do? What selfish intentions am I projecting outward onto all those villainous characters? One of my favorite quotes by Rumi goes something like, "We don't need to seek love, we need only to seek the barriers we've built to love." For that seems to be our adventure here, doesn't it? To experience all the opposites of who we really are and to be aware of the difference between these two parts of us. And that brings us to the topic of today's episode, which is about, as we connect more with our higher self and the higher realms, how that can impact our self-worth and our courage. The more we connect with unconditional love more and more, the more our human side believes it's worthy of it because it's receiving it more and more. And the more often that we feel and experience that unconditional love, the more our human side really looks at it and goes, wow, this is unconditional. No conditions that I have where I can lose it, and no conditions I have to gain more of it either, because I have 100% of it right now. And I know I keep on saying, the human side, and I really feel that's an important piece of our whole adventure, because the more we experience the two parts of us, the more we realize that our human experience here is an experiment. It's a dream. It's a play that is putting on for the sake of all our experiences. It's like taking time for a meditation where you see yourself drift out of your human body, floating up to the ceiling, moving up and up and up until you're in space. And being out there in space, looking back at the earth seeming so much smaller, most things happening on earth also seem so much smaller. And our human sees the difference between the capital T truths up there and the small t truths of down on the earth. And it starts to believe less and less about those small t truths that try to define its worth by the external things. And it discovers that it's part of this being that is so much more and that is priceless. It realizes the instability of the outside world, and our human side is told, look outside of itself for its worth, for that suggested retail price of the outside things, but it finds that it is unstable because people change or pass away, situations never stay the same, and things break down, deteriorate, or are stolen. In that unstable world, there's a long list of things that have to happen in order for us to be lovable and acceptable. All those small t truths, those shoulds, the supposed tos, the need tos, the have tos, the musts. And we're taught to use those things to define our worth. But all of those conditional love laws, as I call them, they vary by individual person, and even within our own, they can be contradictory and ever-changing and flowing based on whoever's opinion that we're taking on as our own throughout our lives. And the more we connect to the higher realm, the more we realize that our worth doesn't have to be defined by the outside world, not by what people can bring to us, and that our needs need to be met by the outside world, but instead it comes from the creator of all things, that limitless source, the one that is endless bounty of resources to bring it to us. And we can see that those humans actually aren't what are bringing us what we're looking for. They're just the shipping company or the delivery driver, because where we're getting it from, where our worth of worthiness, I guess is a better word, to receive from the Creator, is based on the unconditional love of the Creator. There are no conditions, not even one, because it only takes one condition to make something conditional. So as we turn inward for our self-worth, rather than looking to the outside to define it, our worth changes, and we are amazed because we are amazing. And we more understand the difference between the two, because we are told in the beginning that our self-worth is our suggested retail price from the outside world. But we understand the fluctuation of the retail price of the outside world, like a beautiful parka warm coat in Alaska during the winter. It is even marked up in price, where when it's that same parka coat in southern Texas during the summer, it ends up on the clearance rack. So having the eternal, stable, unconditional love of the Creator of all things be the basis of our self-worth, instead of that unstable, suggested retail price of the outside world, really helps us understand just how worthy we are of love. And any whispers of unworthiness are just lies, all lies. We also realize through all this that up until this point, until we start to see this other option, that we have been choosing the smaller things instead of choosing the higher things, which brings around another of our capital T truths, which is the power of choice. I don't want this video to get too long, so what we're going to do is in the next episode, we'll continue on this subject, but we're going to be talking about how this connection and all of this that we've been talking about helps our courage. And if you are looking for more messages of love from above, I also put out general readings each month, monthly for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements, like fire signs, water signs, etc. I do full moon and new moon readings and a variety of other readings and other videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click this like button, also click the subscribe button, that'll give you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you just select the all option, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out for this channel. Also, doing any of those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video, you share a video, you comment on a video, you subscribe to a channel, the YouTube algorithm goes so crazy and so happy, it wants to share those videos of that channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am grateful for that. Also, the readings I put out are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below as well. So as you go throughout this next amazing week, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing week. I'll be talking to you very soon. Till then, you hang in there and you take care.